Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. How's Eddie Frederick?
So glad you can join us. Jamaica's opposition PNP renews calls for illicit six to be named. This story takes the lead in today's edition of Caribbean Perspective for Thursday, 12th October 2023, brought to you in association with our friends at Antillian Group. Details when we return.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. The People's National Party, the PNP, is once again urging for the parliamentarians currently under investigation by the Integrity Commission for illicit enrichment or providing false information in their statutory declarations to be named. Natalia Clark of CVM Live has more.
Why the Prime Minister and head of government of this country declaration is yet to be certified?
That's the hot-button question aimed at Prime Minister Andrew Holness on Sunday, as concerns mount regarding the Integrity Commission's inability to certify his statutory declaration for 2 consecutive years. People's National Party Member of Parliament caretaker for Trelawney Northern, Dennis Meadows, says the issue and the question of whether the Prime Minister is one of the illicit six must be promptly addressed.
You must come forward and tell us who those 6 persons are. More importantly, I want the head of government of this country. I want the head of cabinet of this country. I want the Prime Minister of this country. Tell us whether or not he is one of the 6.
And until the PM provides an answer, Meadows charges the civil society groups to apply pressure, ask questions, and hold those who head the country accountable in a bid to maintain integrity and foster trust.
If they respect the Jamaican people and they want to be taken seriously, they must immediately ask of the Prime Minister, demand of the Prime Minister, what happened to your declaration? Why is that certified?
Meantime, the party's General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell says he's ashamed to live in a country where leaders lack moral authority.
You have the judiciary, the executive, and the legislature. And in one house, you have somebody who will lead the executive, say the Prime Minister, and somebody who will lead the legislature and speak on the house. And none of them can get that Integrity Commission filing. I'm ashamed.
The political firebrands were addressing supporters at the William Knibb Memorial High School in Trelawney, where the PNP named Trelawney's front runners for the fast-approaching elections. I'm Natalia Clark for CVM News.
Shoring up the party's base was the underlying message as the St. Lucia Labour Party SLP View Fort South constituency held its 2023 AGM on Sunday last, at which long-serving incumbent Member of Parliament Dr. Kenny Anthony was honoured. Joachim Duplessis of HTS News Force reports.
The St. Lucia Labour Party View Fort South constituency held its 2023 annual general meeting under the theme Strengthening Our Base, Defending Our Legacy, Protecting Our Future. Keynote speaker Shelton Daniel challenged the party members to commit themselves to the ideals of the SLP and to work together to strengthen the party base. Daniels espoused the belief that the SLP post-independence has stuck to its social democratic ideals in devising policies to meet the needs of the people of St. Lucia.
When we talk about our legacy, defending our legacy, there can be few other places that are more reflective and representative of the legacy of the St. Lucia Labour Party and what it stands for than Vieux-Fort South in particular. Since independence, folks, tell me one, if we don't call it major, but transformative form of development, infrastructure, whatever has taken place in Vieux-Fort, that has not taken place mostly, if not only, under and because of the St. Lucia Labour Party. Tell me one. Almost everything that is of note and of significance since independence has been as a result of the dedication, the seriousness, and the heart of the St. Lucia Labour Party for the people of Vieux-Fort South.
Several other speakers at the AGM highlighted the importance of good governance. But Labrie MP Alva Baptiste warns that this is immaterial if the groundwork is not done to secure consistent electoral victories.
I think the theme captures the essence of the moment. Strengthening the base, protecting our legacy, and of course, the future. We must not trivialize the moment that we're in. You see this Panidu Buta Peya we are playing in and out Kashmabal, we cannot afford to do that anymore. From 2006, we get into office, and 11-6. Next elections, we out. Next elections, they in. This is not a susu. This is not a game. This is about people's lives. And when we do not strengthen the base, our lives go away in chunks of 5 years.
The parliamentarian argues that prioritizing sober governance, prudent fiscal management, and coherent policies are crucial and serve a country in good stead, especially in times of adversity.
Therefore, at no other time, post-independence, we have seen that level of development in St. Lucia, under the St. Lucia Labour Party, and in particular the 2 terms of Dr. Anthony between 1997 and 2006, and again between 2011 and 2016. There is no other period post-independence that can compare with that. And this is why we had a tragedy between 2016 and 2021. And when COVID came, people were gasping for air and sucking salt. And the monies that were given were just wasted whilst people suffered in this country. Now today, under the leadership of the Honorable Philip J. Pierre, we are repairing the economy. Things are coming on nicely. And we are delivering social services to the people of this country.
Vieux-Fort MP Kenny Anthony was gracious for the laudatory messages about his lengthy public service and stewardship. Joachim Duplessis, HTS News Force.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick,
in association with our friends at
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
There was a lull in the usual parliamentary thrust and parry as members of the House of Representatives in Trinidad and Tobago came together on Monday to bid a fond farewell to former Clerk of the House, Jackie Sampson Miguel. More in this TTT News item with Terry Ann Brown Campbell.
After 37 years serving in the House of Representatives, 34 of them as Clerk of the House, Jackie Sampson Miguel has officially departed on pre-retirement leave. Both the opposition and the government members applauded her stellar contribution to the parliament.
She has the distinction of being the first woman appointed to this office and one of the youngest persons in the Commonwealth to be appointed to such an office. She is esteemed and respected in the Caribbean and the Commonwealth as an authority on parliamentary practice and procedure.
During her career, Mrs. Sampson Miguel served under several House Speakers: Oka Sipol, Hector McLean, Rupert Griffith, Berindra Sinanan, Wade Mark, and Bridget Anisette George.
On behalf of the Leader of the Opposition, the Honourable Kamala Prasad Bisesa, and on behalf of all members of the Opposition, we would like to first sincerely thank Mrs. Jackie Sampson Miguel for her decades of patriotic service, not only to our Parliament, but to our nation as Clerk of the House of Representatives.
Mrs. Sampson Miguel will officially retire in January 2024. The new Clerk of the House is Brian Caesar. Terry Ann Brown Campbell, TTT News.
The National Security Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, in the meantime, is apologizing to the nation on behalf of the criminals who terrorized them. During his contribution to the budget debate, Fitzgerald Hines sought to assure the public that he plans to fight like hell to make Trinidad and Tobago safer. CNC3's Akash Samaru has more.
The National Security Minister did not shy away from admitting that these are troubling times, from robberies.
That woman who was dragged on Charlotte Street a few days ago pained all of our hearts.
Murders.
We're running close to what happened in 2022, unfortunately.
And other serious offenses.
We've seen an increase between 2022 and 2023 in rapes and incest and other sexual offenses.
And within the first 10 minutes of his contribution in the lower house today, Fitzgerald Hines took it upon himself to apologize to the victims of crime in this country.
On behalf of those of us who behave in those ways, who choose crime in some cases as a business model, I apologize to the rest of us and give you the assurance that as Minister of National Security, leading national security, we will continue to put up the walls, put up the fences, and fight like hell to protect you from that.
But the National Security Minister repeated something he said on several occasions, that it's time for some in society to stop protecting the wrongdoers.
The more guns we get, the more the public support the police in getting these guns out of the hands of criminals, the less likelihood we'll have to cry every Monday morning as we gather outside the Forensic Science Center.
He said he completely understands why people are calling for more police patrols, and it's something they are trying to facilitate. More feet on the ground. But what he won't acquiesce to are calls for more legal firearms in the hands of citizens.
We believe if we strengthen and professionalize the police service and tool them with intelligence and come together as a parliament and pass the right laws to support law enforcement, we could fight that without the madness of matic and shoot up and lick up and clip it and all kind of foolishness.
But the minister did call on the opposition to partner with him to end this crime scourge.
For us to gang up, if I may say so, in a civilized, wonderful, legislative way and fight the criminals, the minority in this country who are putting stresses upon us.
He also mentioned that they've commenced installing new CCTV cameras in several areas across this country. Akash Samaru, CNC3 News.
The Bahamas registered its reactions to Israel declaring war on Hamas. ZNS News brings us more.
Foreign Affairs Minister, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, says the Bahamas has received a briefing from the Bahamas ambassador-designate for Israel on the war currently raging there. Minister Mitchell's comments came during the ZNS Network's pre-show for the National Honor Ceremony with Julian Reed. Meantime, Israel has declared war on Hamas after the Islamist militants launched a surprise and highly coordinated assault in Israel over the weekend that has so far killed over 700 Israelis.
We're not in the fight. Our view is that the hostilities should cease, and there needs to be a two-state solution because you have to see the context in which these things happen. So CARICOM is in the process of generating a statement, and as you know, CARICOM is the main instrument through which we conduct our foreign policy, the regional subgrouping. So I suspect that something will be said about that shortly.
The Foreign Affairs Minister is hoping a solution can be reached between both countries.
As we see from our partners in Haiti to the south of us, that the ultimate solution to these things has got to be a social and political solution. Warfare can only last for a particular period of time, and it's important for a political solution to be launched.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean.
In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's a service guarantee. We look after all our family, yes we do at every hour.
Tillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.